We've all experienced a rued day, a state of mental paralysis where regret and isolation create a suffocating feedback loop. In this state, the mind feels trapped by its own history. The American poet Robert Frost wrote a brief investigation into this exact psychological state. Dust of Snow is just 8 lines long. It's a compressed piece of literary architecture holding significant emotional weight. The first stanza establishes the setting, outside in the cold, near a tree. This frozen environment mirrors the narrator's stagnant mind. Frost uses this winter forest to establish a macro environment that feels bleak and unyielding, reflecting the massive scale of human depression. The botanical choice here is specific. The narrator stands beneath a hemlock, a tree historically and literarily associated with deadly poison, most famously used in the execution of Socrates. The crow perched in the branches carries its own weight. In literature and folklore, the crow functions as a recurring omen of darkness, carrion, and death. Frost deliberately avoided traditionally uplifting symbols of nature, such as an oak or a robin. By selecting the hemlock and the crow, he populates the narrator's world with icons of mortality. The narrator's despair is so total that they are projecting a fatalistic narrative onto their physical surroundings. They have created a closed loop of doom. The stagnant environment breaks in a single moment. It happens with the sudden, unseen movement of the crow. That violent movement instantly transfers kinetic energy from the unseen crow directly into the dormant, poisoned hemlock tree branch. The result is immediate. Crystalline ice dust is dislodged from the branch. This small cascade shatters the dead silence of the woods. This sharp sensory intrusion forces the narrator to shift focus. They abandon their internal macro narrative to track a sudden micro event occurring in the physical world. The change is not triggered by a profound realization. It is caused by a random, uncontrolled physical disruption in an otherwise still landscape. The focus shifts to the microscopic scale, looking at the fragile structure of the falling ice dust. This falling snow has near zero physical weight. It is material with almost no substance. This weightless material is now falling into the heavy, oppressive gloom established in the opening of the poem. Gravity pulls the dust from the high canopy directly toward the narrator. This creates a physical irony. A weightless object has collided with the heavy psychological mass of the narrator's day. When the ice hits the skin, it provides a sharp, microsensory shock of cold. This tactile input forces a pause. It pulls the narrator's attention away from their internal monologue and back into their body, breaking the cycle of the rude day. The second stanza reveals an inversion of the poem's darker symbols. The agents of death, the poison tree and the carrion bird, are the very things that deliver the baptism of white snow. Frost subverts the reader's expectations. He shows that salvation can be delivered by the exact elements we assumed were part of our own destruction. This change of mood is limited in scope. It doesn't claim to cure the underlying depression, but it rescues some part of the day from being a total loss. The kinetic energy of the external world has unzipped the narrator's internal timeline, allowing them to move forward again. The poem functions through a collision of scales. A micro-beauty successfully pierces a macro-tragedy. The final takeaway is that emotional rescue often requires surrendering our heavy narratives to the smallest, most random interruptions of the physical world.